On Christmas Eve 1995, in a guitar workshop in Meridian, Mississippi, a luthier named Jim DeCola puts the finishing touches on a guitar that almost no one will see for years. He's not building it for the market. He's building it for one person. The person who spent months designing every detail of it with him. He's building it for Eddie Van Halen. That guitar, the Peavey EVH Wolfgang prototype, is on Reverb right now, authenticated, listed at over $400,000. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why that number makes sense and why the person who buys it may feel like they got a bargain. By the early 90s, Eddie Van Halen had spent 20 years modifying guitars. He not only popularized two-handed tapping, but he developed a tone guitarists are still trying to copy today. He had access to anything, and he was still frustrated. Gibson, Fender, nobody at the top of the industry was giving him what he actually wanted. Not even his signature models with Music Man were enough. He didn't want a guitar with simply his name on it. He wanted an instrument engineered from the ground up around how he was evolving. So he went to Peavey. That choice surprised a lot of people. It shouldn't have. The result was the EVH Wolfgang. Peavey is a great American story. Hartley Peavey built his first amp in his dad's basement and eventually opened a factory in his own hometown. Peavey built a reputation on engineering first. Not aesthetics, not heritage, engineering. Durable, reliable gear you found in every rehearsal studio, every bar, every church in America. That was Peavey. Then the 5150 happened. Eddie collaborated with Peavey on his signature amp, and they produced one of the most iconic rock and metal amplifiers ever made. The successor, the 6505, is still a go-to amp for guitarists worldwide. Eddie chose Peavey for his guitar because they were willing to actually build what he described and then refine it in real time. They weren't precious about tradition, and they had a willingness to tear everything up and start over if something wasn't right. 3 years of R&D. That's what it took to get it right. The Wolfgang was released in 1996 and named after Eddie's son, not as a marketing decision, but as a dedication of love. And the man who did the hands-on work of turning Eddie's ideas into actual instruments was Jim DeCola. DeCola joined Peavey in the 80s and became supervisor of guitar engineering. He is by any measure one of the most accomplished luthiers of his generation. Eddie Van Halen did not communicate in spec sheets. He played something, felt something, and he described what was wrong in completely intuitive terms. Too stiff here. The neck is fighting me. The pickups need to breathe more. DeCola's job was to translate that into geometry, into wood and wire and metal, into a guitar that felt like an extension of Eddie's hands, a chunkier asymmetrical neck, a flatter fingerboard, larger frets, a satin-finished neck. He personally hand-wound and wax-potted the EVH humbucker in this prototype, voicing it for clarity under high gain, not just raw output. After Peavey, DeCola first went on a Fender, then moved over to Gibson, where he became one of the key R&D minds and master luthiers. His name carries serious weight. In 2020, he met with the current owners of this guitar, inspected it, confirmed it, and authenticated it. His handwritten signature, in green ink, is inside the neck heel, right where he put it in 1995. This is where things get interesting. There's no serial number on this guitar because it was never meant to be sold. This was a working tool, a prototype. There is exactly one of these. Eddie's specs are a window into his thinking. The body is basswood with a quilted maple top, 3/16 of an inch thick, finished in a gloss transparent black, likely a 90s poly finish, but the type of paint isn't specified in the listing. Basswood gives you even balanced frequency response that stays controlled and tight under high gain. The maple cap adds attack and articulation. Together, they yield a voice that's punchy and immediate while maintaining the touch sensitivity and note separation that was part of Eddie's sound. The neck is bird's eye maple, reinforced with carbon graphite rods, Eddie's insurance against tuning instability from heavy tremolo abuse. Paired with a 12-inch radius fingerboard, you get a neck that is fast, precise, and practically impervious to weather changes. Interesting note, this prototype has a 12-inch radius. The production models went to a flatter 15-inch fretboard radius. This is pre-refinement. This guitar is a conversation happening in real time. This tilt-back headstock with the Peavey logo in gold made it to the production models. The chrome Schaller tuners with cream buttons look great and are reliable, and the body is finished with a cream body binding. The guitar shows playing wear. Of course it does. Eddie used it. It appeared on the cover of Guitar World in April 1996, barely Corgan holding it, standing next to Eddie. The bird's eye maple grain in the photograph matches the guitar exactly. And then the fall of 2000, Pete Skrmeta, custom shop director of Fernandez Guitars, added the Fernandez sustainer to the instrument. Skrmeta worked on several of Eddie's guitars. He signed both electronic covers. His presence here is another layer of provenance, another thread in the story that just keeps getting deeper. Every production Wolfgang that ever left the factory came from conversations that produced this prototype. Every guitarist who picked up a Wolfgang and felt that asymmetrical neck, heard those pickups, dive-bombed that tremolo, they were experiencing the downstream result of what Eddie and Jim DeCola figured out together in this guitar. This is where it started. The people who own it are genuine lifelong Van Halen fans. They've held it for over a decade. They're not selling it because they have to. They're selling it because the right home for this guitar is not in a vault. Owning this guitar isn't about having an expensive object on a wall. It's about a direct physical connection to one of the most important moments in electric guitar design history. It's about holding something Eddie Van Halen held, something he chose, something built to his exact specifications, something that only exists once. When Eddie eventually moved on and launched the EVH brand with Fender, Peavey couldn't use the EVH name anymore, but the design DNA lived on in the HP series, genuinely excellent guitars that remain criminally underappreciated. The modern EVH Wolfgang line under Fender carries that story forward with many of the refinements developed with this prototype. This prototype is the original source. Everything else is downstream. Christmas Eve, 1995, Jim DeCola finishes a guitar, signs it, hands it to Eddie. That guitar is on Reverb right now. Someone is going to own it, and every single day they do, they'll know they're holding something Eddie Van Halen held. Something built, by one of the finest luthiers in the history of the instrument. Do you want this guitar as much as I do? Whoever buys this, I just hope that they play it. Leave a comment. If you could own any one guitar from rock history, what would it be? Not the most expensive, the one that would mean the most to you personally. And if this video gave you something, subscribe. Now we're finding the guitars that carry the real stories. I'll see you then.